Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm not going to say good night because I'm not leaving yet. How are we doing? I hope you've had a fantastic holiday season. Whether it's you kicked off December celebrating Hanukkah, or obviously Christmas, and any and every other holiday betwixt and between. Start off with apologies because I've not really done much streaming this year or this month, with just everything that's been going on. To be honest with you, there's been a lot of doctor's appointments, prep for what is the next step in my cancer treatment, which starts next Monday, and that's the radiation treatment. So that, on top of everything else, just has left me kind of drained and try to really get away from everything and relax. Hi, Annalie. Happy holidays to you. I hope you're feeling better. This is not soda, by the way. It's a probiotic drink, which is good, or prebiotic, sorry, which is good for my stomach health. The fact that it tastes like raspberry rose lemonade is not a bad thing either. Mark Simpson, nice to see you. So yeah, it's December. You know, we decided that we were going to make as much time for ourselves as possible. We saw a film or two. We had a couple of days out where we went off to the west side for various doctor's appointments, and on the way back stopped in our old stomping hood and saw the Grove, which is a huge shopping center here, and we were all masked up and everything. Thankfully, Omicron was not quite at the levels it's at now. But then also on the 22nd, we took the decision to lock the F down. In fact, it was 8 days ago, and today's the first day anybody's left the house. Sean has gone to pick up some groceries that are literally going to be carried to the bag, from the store to the car. So she might come back mid this. I may have to disappear to help her. But I wanted to say, happy holidays to everybody and say hello. All right, RP Genius. It's been a year, hasn't it? Not even on the personal side, to be honest with you. It's been all over the friggin' shop. Obviously, people are still getting COVID. We're now in Christmas 2, which has been our holiday season 2, which is looking like another lockdown that people don't seem to be taking notice of, even though we have friends who've been super locked down and they've still caught Omicron. Thankfully, they're boosted and vaxxed, so the effects have been mild so far, but it's still a big fear in this household, obviously, because of my current predicament. Hello, Backby. Thank you for joining. Melkia, nice to see you. You may wonder why, and this sums up 2020 for you, 2021 for you. You may wonder why I'm not actually standing. You may wonder why I'm sitting. And I'll show you this. I did something to my foot yesterday morning, that caused my big toe to swell up and the joint around it to lock up and stabbing pain when I walk. So we spoke to our doctors. Thankfully, we've got them on email, and it looks like I have developed something called gout, which is an old man's disease, the old people's disease that they get when they've been eating too much naughty. And it turns out that based on my chemo meds, my kidneys cannot process a certain amount of acid as well as they did, and it congregates in your extremities, in this case, my big toe. So, yeah, I'm hobbling. Thankfully, yes, it's been a naughty month diet-wise. There's been candies and cookie and Christmas pie, pudding, mince pies, and Christmas cake, and lots of good stuff. But it'll die down because, especially starting on New Year's Day, as part of the prep for the radiation treatment, I'm going on to an austerity diet, which is something my friends in the European Union and in Britain will all know all about. It means I've got to cut out so much shit that I am just going to be eating nuts and pulses and everything. Lee Quo in the house, my good friend Lee Quo, who I didn't get to see. Unfortunately, he's been down twice this year. He actually moved from here back up to Seattle. And I'm so glad you got home in one piece, mate. But obviously, with everything, we couldn't see anybody this holiday season. So much love to Lee. So yes. Gout is a condition inflicting those with an overrich diet. I didn't actually have an overrich diet. I've been a little naughtier. My diet's actually been off the charts good. And December, it's been a little naughtier. But that, unfortunately, has triggered, combined with my medication, has made me more susceptible. So this will be the first and the last time I'm getting it. Don't like it. Couldn't sleep much last night. Yes, the austerity diet is going to put me under Tory rule. But I have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a good show today. I'm going to talk to you. As you can see, actually relatively tidied my games room. I don't know if you can see. Hold on. You can see, as you can see there, games room still tip, but there you go. As you can see, Spike is fast asleep. Yeah. So I actually have a list. I have a list of things to talk about this holiday season, or this day, talking about 2021, and we are going to talk about games, TV, movies, and Christmas traditions. So, what I'd love for you to do is have a think about your Christmas traditions, and at the end of the broadcast, we will sit and we'll share everybody's traditions. I'll talk about some of the ones that I've done, that we like to do here. Spike is fast asleep. He's just like, it's pouring down with rain, by the way. We've had record rainfall in California this month, which has been a godsend. We've had something like 16 or 17 feet of snow up in the high mountains, which is amazing. And we've had about 5 or 6 inches of rain so far, I think this week alone, maybe, in various areas. So yay, stop that drought. So let's talk about games. And I've basically, though there have been obviously a lot of games, I want to talk about the ones that have impressed me, or affected me in some way, shape, or form. And I'm going to start off with the one that came out at the end of last year, which I played all the way through, and I will pick up and play again as soon as they deliver more bloody content for it, and that's Cyberpunk. And I will say to you, if you have a PC that's capable of running Cyberpunk now that it's patched, or maybe even just if you have a PC capable of it, it's a freaking great game. That should have been Game of the Year, and it's such a missed opportunity. And I hope that these guys learn from their lessons. I am not going to talk spoilers on Spider-Man No Way Home, by the way. Mark Simpson, you can listen only. That's fine. I mean, I'm not, there's no puppetry here or no visual clues or anything like that. It's just me. I really should start putting an audio version of this up. But anyway, so Cyberpunk, still one of my favorite games of this year, and such a missed opportunity. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's on sale, or it's on sale on various outlets. You really should, if you've got a PC that can handle it. And hopefully 2022 will bring us CD Projekt's giving us some extra DLC and finally fixing every aspect of the game. The next game I want to talk about is Deathloop, which, in my opinion, and look, I only say this is in my opinion because it's the game I played the most and loved the most out of 2021. It's my game of the year. I played it on PC, and the Game Awards, they went with It Takes Two, and I haven't played that game. So I couldn't tell you if, in my opinion, it's justifiable. But I thought Deathloop was a winner because graphically stunning, gameplay was amazing, voice acting and story so good. It took that lather, rinse, repeat gameplay style that I actually kind of got well over. I played Hades, and then everything else started to come with it. Came in to rip it off, and I thought I was done. But Deathloop is without a doubt one of my favorite games. I played it on PC with everything running top of the range, played some multiplayer, a lot of multiplayer actually. So Deathloop is my game of the year. Just because it's brilliant in every step. It's pure Arcane at top of their form. Anybody who knows Arcane Studios, who knows Dishonored 1 and 2, Prey, they will know that this is going to be a good game. And I did actually talk to somebody at Bethesda in earlier this month and asked them about the Shadowrun Arcane rumor because I couldn't think of a better team suited to do a Shadowrun game, and all I got was a derisive snort in reply, as if to say, "Fuck off! It's not happening." So that's a shame, but hopefully we'll get a good Shadowrun game at some point. No, I didn't. So Mark Simpson's asking, do you hear about Epic servers down for Fortnite? No, I didn't. I didn't hear about it. But again, I mean, I've kind of yesterday, I was actually in front of the PlayStation. I was on at this very desk with the PS5 and the headphones on, because my monitor is beautiful that I plugged the PlayStation into, but it's got speakers, but I've got some great surround sound headphones that I use. So that's what I was doing yesterday. I didn't really look at any gaming news. So that's interesting. So yeah, I mean, you get back on it and have some fun with it. I mean, I'm sure that's probably on the same scale as the Facebook servers going out a couple of months ago or a month ago. I still sometimes think it's 2020. I mean, it's ridiculous. Time has ceased to hold all meaning. It's basically eat, sleep, doctor's appointment, treatment, eat, sleep, watch some TV, and that's it. So I'll talk about Ghost in a minute, but let's talk about New World, a game I bought and I gave a crack to and I enjoyed, and initially really, really fun, good take on a more action-driven, non-turn-based RPG with regards to combat. And then it fell off a cliff. The economy was broken from the get-go, and I thought they would, they were just being quite stringent with it, but there's no way to really crank up lots of gold. And Amazon have been trying their best with regards to lots of giveaways through Twitch and everything where you get the prime loot. But the fact that I went back to the game about a month ago, logged in for about an hour, and then logged out again. It was like a ghost town where I was, and it's a shame. I hope they find some tweaks in 2022 to bring it back, because it's a beautiful looking game. It has a lot of things going for it. And the fact that it's a non-subscription MMO is a great thing. Really is a great thing. So yeah, that's probably my biggest disappointment of the games that I played. That and Outriders, that started off so strong, started off with a bang, and then just again died off. I mean, my interest in it died off because it just got so repetitive. Let's go with Matthew Thomas in the house. Nice to see you. So let's go to the first game I played on my PS5, because obviously I got the PS5 about 8 weeks ago, and that was Miles Morales, Spider-Man Miles Morales, because it's a game I wanted to play. Huge fan of the first Spider-Man, and I got to say, eminently enjoyable, with the exception of obviously Miles is more tailored and different power sets. It's got all the production qualities of the Spider-Man game that came out on the PS4 a couple of years ago, and so rightly enchanted a lot of people, myself included. Miles Morales is enjoyable, but it does feel like a reskin of Spider-Man. Even more so if you actually, the version I got came with a code for the remastered PS5 version of Spider-Man, and so I jumped into that too, and it's not disappointing, but I found myself not as sucked in as I was the first time around, where I completed the game and did new game plus and started, really wanted to try and complete everything on the PS4 version. This time I played it for, a good 20 odd hours, and then I just put it down. I haven't unwrapped Ratchet and Clank. I did try the other game that comes on the PS5. I can't remember it, but it's just not my cup of tea. So I'm just reading some of the comments, but it will lead me on to my favorite game so far on the PS5, because bearing in mind that I played Deathloop on the PC, and that is Ghosts of Tsushima. Got it on Christmas Day, the Director's Edition for PS5. It's from Sucker Punch, who obviously have done two of my favorite games of all time in Infamous 1 and 2, of which I've blathered on. And here's hoping we get some PS3 emulation on this beautiful little white box I've got sitting here, because I would love to get the PlayStation versions, which are sitting just over there, the PS3 versions of Infamous 1 and 2, and get them running on my... Don't even have to upres them. Just give me an emulator. That's all I need. But Ghosts is a delightful game. It's beautiful to look at. I mean, it's gobsmacking. I thought Miles Morales was pretty, and then I just looked at you're standing on mountaintops in Ghost, and you just see these amazing vistas and the combat and how bloody you get after a really brutal fight, and the different types of weapon you can pick up and the different types of armor. Not a big fan of the cosmetics only stuff. I know people love changing stuff around to make themselves look their own way, and that's great. If I'm going to wear a hat in a game or a face mask in a game, make it give me a bonus to something, whether it be health or +2 damage or venom or poisoning with regards to my weapons or extra stealth. And I think that's a bit of a missed trick. Story is great, very enjoyable. I hear there is a movie in development, not surprising because it does seem very cinematic. I do think there's a couple of tricks missed with regards to you'd see some villages start to bounce back when you've cleared them, but not really to any major extent. And it would be nice to see perhaps a little more of that evolution as you go along. And look, I'm about 10 to 12 hours in now. I'm sort of like tackling as many side missions and get powered up and exploring and uncovering lots of areas. So maybe when I start one of the later acts, I'll see a lot more stuff. But I'm really, really enjoying it. Not my game of the year, as I said, that was Deathloop, but I can certainly recommend it if you've got a PS5. It's certainly worth getting. So thumbs up on that. Sebastian in the house. Nice to see you. Happy holidays. So that's my games. A couple of notable mentions. Hitman 3 at the beginning of the year. I understand IO are doing a James Bond game. That'll be cool. That'll be super cool. Because I love the way they can do, they do a lot of things with Hitman. The games are always gorgeous. So it'd be interesting to see how they tackle Bond. Backby is saying that there are combat armors, stealth armors, health, etc. in Ghost. And there are the main armor settings. It's just the masks, the helmets. They don't really seem to do, they seem to be more cosmetic. And there's no boost for wearing the whole thing, the full outfit. You just get that on the main thing. That's my understanding. And if I'm getting it wrong, I apologize. And I need to go back and look at that a little bit more. But, so yeah, let's talk about your favorite games. Please start sticking them in the list and we'll have a look in the chat rather. Let's talk about TV. Well, I think, we can look at the TV in two sections. We've got Disney Plus and everybody else. There's been a lot of good stuff. I mean, HBO Max had some great stuff. Mayor of Easttown, fantastic if you haven't checked that out. Hacks is another fantastic one. Apple, Ted Lasso. Obviously, they had a real roller coaster of a second season that divided a lot of people. And then Disney Plus had, there's WandaVision, Loki, Falcon the Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, which, as I said, I think on the last stream is my favorite because I think Hawkeye is a very underrated character. I think Jeremy Renner plays him very well, and to see him even more humanized, that he is a guy without powers, just really good aim and really good eyesight. I mean, I'd hate to play him in Halo or Fortnite, but it's set in New York at Christmas, which is, something that is cinematically one of my favorite things to watch. And my bucket list is to spend, some of the holiday season in New York at some point, post-COVID, post-cancer. But yeah, I just love that one. And then, of course, we did have Book of Boba Fett dropped yesterday. I actually forgot it dropped yesterday because I thought yesterday was Tuesday and I thought today was Wednesday until Shauna said, nope, today is Thursday. You need to do X, Y, and Z. I said, but I can't. I got a bad foot. It's like, oh, okay. So I'm not going to talk about Book of Boba Fett. We'll talk about that next week or next year, if you will. But thumbs up, strong start. Heavy on the ticking nostalgia. So Backbee's asking, going back to the games, about Hitman to be more of the Bond game being playing like a Hitman game. I don't think it will. I think it'll have some elements, but I would expect it to be way beyond. I mean, it's going to have more out and out action. It's going to have more ways of getting information from people. It's going to have a more fluid and transparent way of delivering the story as opposed to just mission to mission to mission. And I think it'll probably be more linear as well. So the other thing that we started watching, and I don't know why I've been so resistant to watching this show, is Witcher. Shauna actually suggested we watch it. It came up in, season 2 dropped and it came up in our feed over and over. And she was like, it's based on a video game. Why don't you want to watch it? I'm like, I didn't enjoy the video game. And I don't. I mean, maybe I will try and go back to play Witcher 3 at some point. I think it's sitting on my Steam account. But yes, obviously it's based on the books more so than the video game. But I knew it as from the video game, with sort of a lot of other people. But we watched season 1. We ended up binging it. We knocked out all the episodes in about 3 evenings. And it's bloody good. It's really sort of like filled that Game of Thrones-y type of thing, but more of a PG-13 version. There's boobies, but no, no furry bits below for men or women. But it's really enjoyable. Henry Cavill's voice is growly, like he's got the old COVID. But yeah, we haven't started season 2. We want to take a break and watch more Christmassy fare. But especially as we try to watch a couple of other shows like His Dark Materials and Wheel of Time and a couple of others like that for me, Foundation is obviously more sci-fi, but I just couldn't get through. Witcher was a pleasant surprise, and we're saving season 2 now and for the new year, when I'm in, sitting down, wrapped up at home after doing a morning of radiation therapy. So, so again, I'm looking at the questions, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So looking forward to season 2. Let's go on to movies. And thankfully, we got to go back to the cinema for a short period of time. And thankfully, I got to see everything I wanted to see. Because, as I've said before, we have the little IPIC theater in Pasadena. And Shauna devised the plan of, and I've shared this before, so apologies if you're hearing it again, of us going to the first possible show of it, on a day where the place had been super cleaned and we were fully masked up. And this was again before Omicron reared its head to become so contagious. But the movies I've seen, obviously, the first movie we saw back was Free Guy, which was a strange movie. I've watched it since actually it was on sale on Apple. The digital version, so I picked it up because I like Ryan Reynolds and I like all the extras. And I rewatched it. I enjoyed it more at home than I did in the theater. I think it's funny. I think, honestly, it seems like it could be a mod of The Matrix. The mod of The Matrix Resurrections, and we'll talk about that one in a minute as well. But it's if you get a chance to rent it for a couple of bucks, or it comes on Disney Plus, I think, next month, you should, or Hulu, one of the two, you should definitely watch it and enjoy it. I mean, Ryan Reynolds is, he's funny, and he's actually kind of restrained in this one, but he still should. It's better than Red Notice, put it that way. Red Notice is the one that he did with Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot, which is a movie that should be way better given the charisma of the three leads, but it's just an empty shell of a movie, alas. Let's see. And then the next one I saw, which was amazing, I was so happy to see it in the theater, was Bond. A great way to say goodbye to Daniel Craig. I thought he was fantastic in it. I thought the story was great. I have that. Yes, I bought that digitally. It's now sitting on my... oh, hang on. There's another one I missed on the list here. Hold on. What? I have to write things down because if I don't, I forget them. So yes, Daniel Craig, bye-bye. Thank you so much for your service to the British Empire, sir. Yeah, wraps up his series very, very well. Not as strong as Spectre or Casino Royale, but because those two are probably my two top favorite ones from him, and it fits in there nicely in number 3, in my opinion. So, Sundancer, hello. I am not drinking beer tonight. I'm afraid I'm saving myself to have a glass of champagne on New Year's because of just everything playing havoc with me right now. Last year, I had last holiday season, 2020. We tied it on big style. We had lots of treats, lots of alcohol. We were going through 2 or 3 bottles of wine a night at some points. But this year, not so much. I had a glass of champagne Christmas Eve with a lady, and then a mimosa the next morning, or Bucks Fizz as they call it in the UK. So yeah, I'm not drinking that much anymore. So Bond was fantastic. Free Guy, really enjoyed it on when I got on sale and watched it on my big screen at home. Dune was another notable that I watched at home. Thoroughly enjoyed. Can't wait for Dune 2. We're getting a new Dune game. That's interesting. Looking forward to that as well. Eternals and Shang-Chi came out, and following on from Black Widow, they completed a okay but underwhelming triumvirate, I think, in retrospect. Having rewatched Shang-Chi again and rewatched Black Widow, and I'll rewatch Eternals next month. I think Eternals, as I said, was more superhero for grown-ups. And it was quite interesting premise-wise, but yeah, it's Marvel, I don't think, had the best year movie-wise when the best movie of the year from Marvel is actually one from Sony. I know it's a co-production, and we'll talk about Spider-Man, but I'm not going into any spoilers. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Yeah, really enjoyed it. As I've said before, ironically, Ghostbusters Afterlife could have, if it had come out 4 years ago, it would have basically opened the door to the Paul Feig reboot, Heed the Call, because it opened that multiverse thing for Ghostbusters, and you could have definitely done that today with an all-female cast, and it would have made sense. And obviously, that one got a lot of hate, but I think if it had been released, say, next year, I think it probably would have done a lot better, because we all wanted to see the original 2 films get tackled and closed off and a new generation opened. And we got that. And this could have done, that movie could have done so much better if it had been more respectful to source material and not just a ham-fisted reboot. Yeah, RPG and Aeneas and Ray Pad are saying that they love Shang-Chi. And like I said, I'm not mad at it. I rewatched it. It was just... I think, unfortunately for me, it was the lead. It was Simu Liu, and again, apologizing for butchering the things. I think the story was great, the effects were great, but the lead characters are the 2 female leads. The sister, who we're obviously going to see more of, and she's in charge of the 10 Rings, and the Awkwafina character. They had more life and more charisma about them, and I think it's not necessarily. I've seen him in Kim's Convenience. And I know he's a fine and talented actor, and his action scenes were on point. I just think he needed more development, more oomph. And that's what I would say my issues with that one were. Talked about Ghostbusters. 2 movies we watched over Christmas. One of them is Encanto, and it's an animated film, and it's on Disney Plus, about a family, a Colombian family, and their magic house and the magic powers they get. And we watched that Christmas Day because we like to watch one animated show. Last year it was Soul, which was such a marvelous movie on Disney Plus again. Certainly better than Wonder Woman, which we also watched that day. And Encanto was just charming and wonderful and great music. And my wife, who really doesn't like animated movies and really doesn't like musicals, she was enjoying herself too. So they didn't put that on the poster. Mrs. Beer liked Encanto. Brackets, she can't fucking stand musicals or cartoons, so combine them and she really hates them. And then Matrix Resurrections came out on HBO, so I didn't have to go to movies for that, which is a godsend with regards to Omicron, because we're now at the stage that, like I said, we don't go out. That's actually Joseph Jones with a good question, and Sundancer. Let me finish with Matrix Resurrections. I'm going to get back to those two. Matrix Resurrections came out. I enjoyed it way more than I enjoyed the second 2 movies, Reloaded and Revelations, Revulsions, whatever it was, because those 2 movies just dragged. They could have told that story in one, taken out all the Zionist spiritual exposition-y crap, and it would have been absolutely fantastic. Oh, and my good lady is home, and my dog is gone nuts. Because go on, let you go. Hold on. There you go. Off you go. There you go. And you saw my armpit. Sorry about that. So yes, I love the way they tackled it. I'm not going to spoil it. Thought it was interesting. I know it's going to be divisive, and I've already seen a lot of posts bitching about that ending in particular, which I'm not going to go into until the new year, until everybody's seen it, or at least the standard 2-week spoiler moratorium is over. And it just made me think that we need a good Matrix game. Now is the time. I tweeted this out a couple of days ago that we had Enter the Matrix and we had the Matrix Online, which were not bad games. These weren't great games. And the way things have evolved now, and there was that tech demo for the PS5 and Xbox, the Unreal one. I think it was Unreal. That was pimped at the Game Awards and just showed what could be done. And I really think now that we're in a place where we can actually have an online Matrix game that could be absolutely beautiful. I don't think we need to do the bullet time, because that's one of the things the movie showed us, is that we didn't really need the bullet time, this new movie. That was great, because bullet time did come into games like Fear, game I worked on, Max Payne, etc., etc. It became, everything everywhere that's slowing down the time. But it's I think we could actually be in a place now where game design's evolved, quality game design, resources, engines. We could actually have a very immersive Matrix game. And Warner Brothers, hop to that. Thank you very much. Because Keanu has come out and said he doesn't think there's going to be a sequel to Resurrections. And the ending does kind of leave things open, as did the first. But if that meant that we don't get a repeat of 2 and 3, that's fine by me. Okay, Joseph Jones, first of all, Suicide Squad, absolutely right. I watched that on HBO, and it's back on HBO again. Peacemaker drops next month. Thoroughly enjoyed it. James Gunn can do very little wrong, in my opinion. Is certainly one of the best of the DC books to movies or whatever, or comic book adaptations. Made all the more, excellent cast. Great story, very, very funny, not afraid to kill people off. I mean, they took Starro, for God's sake, as the bad guy. And I've argued that the problem with the DC universe is their bad guys are bad. And then they put Starro up there, who's quite possibly the best bad guy, the most bizarre bad guy. and give it some soul with regards to how, you know, it was being treated. And I go back to perhaps humans being the bad guys yet again, Amanda Waller. So yes, I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. And then there was the other. God, and I put this to the back of my mind because it came out on HBO Max in 3 different iterations. And there's the Snyderverse and the Justice League. And I've talked about this in depth. Can't fucking stand Snyder, can't fucking stand the Snyderverse. And I'm not going to get into an argument with anybody. If you like it, good for you. For me, I think his storytelling's patchy. I think there's been some good things that he's done. I will say that the casting of The Flash and Superman and Affleck as Batman, who I'm looking forward to seeing more of in the Flash movie, was great. But let's face it, I don't know whether it was him or the Warner Brothers management, but that the Snyderverse is a muddled, depressing mess that tried too quickly to emulate Endgame and what, you know, Marvel and their first 3 phases, and they tried to do that in 5 movies instead of 10, 15. And I think they fell short. It was definitely ambitious. My problem with Snyder is that he's become this spokesperson for the neckbeard contingent who anytime something with regards to DC is put out, he has to chime in with, he wants his version of this, he wants his version of that. So glad he didn't get to ruin Green Lantern and include that. It's bad enough that he put John Jones in there in a nonsensical, you have to agree, the Martian Manhunter cameo in Snyder's Justice League is nonsensical, asinine, and totally out of place. And I gotta say, looking at the theatrical version and looking at Snyder's version, he filmed an awful lot of that theatrical version. Joss Whedon may have put some stuff in, and Joss Whedon may be not exactly a nice guy to work for. But there was a lot of stuff there. And if he restored all this stuff for his cut, there's no way it would have ever hit the theaters. So that's just the way it is. So that it was perfect on HBO. I'm glad they all got it. But let's face it, it's done. We don't need him back in the DCU. The Batman next year looks really cool. Who knows? We might get a good Wonder Woman movie at some point. I mean, the first one was good, not great. The second one was atrocious. Aquaman, Fish Sticks 2, that might be more fun. Hopefully we'll get a new Green Lantern. And so, yes, the DCU needs to move on. And now they're saying it's all multiversal as well. Just try and get one of those universes working, and we'll be in a good state. All right. And what was the other one? What was the other question? Have I seen Book of Boba Fett? Yes, I have. I started watching it last night, and so far, 2 thumbs up. Can't go wrong. Robert Rodriguez is a great director with a great style, and it was written by Favreau, who is regularly churning out the best Star Wars stuff of all time. To be honest, he's beyond what Lucas created with the first one, and he wrote the first 2, because obviously Return of the Jedi was a little bit, but Star Wars, A New Hope and Empire, they were 2 of the best. And now Favreau is carrying that torch on. I think he's writing some really good stuff, and he's got a great idea of where he wants the characters to go. So, all right. I haven't watched Arcane, which is the League of Legends. I think it is one I'm going to have to at some point. Let's see, Joseph Jones, assuming you didn't like Army of the Dead. I watched Army of the Dead, and it was perfectly fine. I think I probably enjoyed Army of the Dead more than I did Justice League because I had 0 expectations. And look, I loved the 300, and I really, really like Watchmen. His director's cut of Watchmen I've watched over and over and over. Love it. Let's see. Okay. All right, there you go. I just had to do that. Let's see. Boom, boom, boom. Did I watch the Castlevania series? No, I didn't watch the Castlevania series. I don't really like the games. I played them on the Super NES all those years ago when Konami released them. I've never really gotten into it. But then again, I didn't like The Witcher, and I like that series, so maybe I'll give that a try at some point. So let's talk about Spider-Man, and I'm not going to spoil it. All I will say is Spider-Man, eminently satisfying and ending to that first home trilogy, if you will. Loved what they did, especially those parts where that thing was done with that character. So yeah, it's the biggest movie of the year. Absolute blockbuster. I actually hope we get Tom Holland back, and I hope they just age him a little so that he can actually be age appropriate. It would be nice to see a Spider-Man age 25, not 12. So yeah, Spider-Man is a really, really good end. Obviously, Venom came out as well, and Venom. More excited about Morbius than I am Venom, because Morbius is looking pretty good based on the trailers. And obviously, I'm not going to talk about Spider-Man because I know a lot of people have seen it, but a lot of theaters are closed around the world because of Omicron until the new year. So I'm not going to say anything. We can have a discussion at the maybe the end of next month and see how that goes. All right. Let's talk about some Christmas traditions. Shall we have your Christmas traditions? So if you've thought about them, get them ready. Let's get those traditions up and running. I suppose the other one last thing I should say about this year is, personally for me, it's been all over the shop. I started streaming. Next month will be the 12-month anniversary of my streaming. So thank you to everybody who's tuned in on a weekly basis, to everybody who's contributed to the Patreon. I very much appreciate that. That's so good of you, and I hope you enjoyed your mugs. And please check your Patreons to make sure that you have, you're on the right tier, because obviously I've streamlined the tiers down to basic. And actually, I do have a new subscriber who I need to thank. So I will actually reach out and thank them on the next stream. And one last thing about the Patreon: if you have a PC and you're a PC gamer, and if you would like a free game from moi, I have some codes for 2 different games. One of them being Predator Hunting Grounds, and the other one being Arcadegeddon, which is in pre-release on, I think it's like Steam Greenlight or whatever it is now. Soft opening, however you want to do it. I've got codes for both. So if you are a Patreon subscriber and you're on the Discord, because you should be, and you play the PC games, ping me on there and let me know which one you prefer, Predator Hunting Grounds or Arcadegeddon. I think I have 10 of each. So it's first come, first serve. Once they're gone, they're gone. And maybe we can have some gameplay sessions. But yeah, I've been given codes that are for Predator in particular, I think, that unlock all the DLC as well. So yeah, if you are a Patreon subscriber, you get a access to a game. I think it's $20 value. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. So all right, Christmas traditions. Let's talk about Christmas traditions. Oh, hang on, I'm all over the place. I was going to talk about my year and the fact that I've started streaming and started doing this on a regular basis, and I say thank you to everybody who's been here. Obviously, it's been up and down. Start of the year, full of hope, positive. We were coasting through lockdown. Nobody was sick. Had some strange little symptoms floating about my body, but I thought it was just old age, and so on and so forth. My consulting business was slowly picking up. I got to work on a couple of things. I was enjoying lockdown, to be honest with you. It's really nice just to stay away from everybody, and everything was just still pretty quiet. Got our vaccinations. Got through the year, got to August, and then everything went absolutely tits up with the cancer diagnosis. But I will share with you some positive news, despite the fact that, again, I'm sitting and, I have to use this again because of yesterday's unexpected development. I seem to be responding to the treatment. And apologies for the seriousness of this next couple of minutes. When on, I think it was August 5th, I was diagnosed, they said to me I had 3 to 6 months, which meant this period would have been, I'd already be gone, or I'd be on my way out the door. As you can see, I'm not, and I'm relatively lively. And I wouldn't say I'm in rude health, I'm just rude. But I will say that the treatment they've got me on, my numbers have gone through the floor in a good way. My PSA, my prostate cancer number, if you will, which was 505 initially, and they found the cancer in all 12 quadrants of my prostate and the tumors and everything. So the PSA has gone down from 505 to, as of December the 15th, which is my last checkup, it was down to 0.31. Which is magnificent. It's over a 500% decrease. I've started the bone treatment to strengthen my bones because obviously I've got these tumors in my sternum and my ribs and some of my spine. And seeing the MRI of my body and these tumors lighting up like Christmas tree lights, friggin' mental. But thankfully there's none in an area that's pressing on nerves. But next Monday I have my first radiation treatment on my back. I have 2 sessions on my back to shrink the tumors there that allow the bone to grow back in, hopefully destroy the tumors and make it hard for them to spread again. And then I start the focused prostate, and that's every weekday for 20 consecutive for 20 weekdays. So I think I start, was it next, a week today, in fact, will be my first prostate one. And then it will go Thursday, Friday, and then Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Friday, and Monday through Friday, and Monday, Tuesday. And that's the one that will hopefully really give the cancer a setback. It's on the run right now, which is unheard of. If this had been diagnosed 2 years ago, before my current treatment was actually available, I'd probably had a surgery and I probably would have not made it. Because if it had been that far advanced 2 years ago, it would have been lights out. But we've gone from that 3 to 6 months diagnosis to 2 to 3 years to maybe 5 years. To with this last, if this next, with this last batch of treatment and this next run of treatment, if they work, touch wood, if they work, my oncologist has said that he is literally putting the onus back on my cardiologist to keep me alive because the cancer will become manageable. So that's pretty, it's pretty freaking amazing. I'm not counting my chickens. I know I've got to work hard. That's why the austerity diet is kicking in, so I can really get through radiation. But to go from being told 4 months ago that, literally I was told smoke them if you got them, to being told that, hey, you might actually make this a decade or 2 if this next step works, because the plan has always been get me to the next big treatment, the next breakthrough treatment. And apparently the next big treatment's pretty close by, thanks to the COVID vaccine, because what it's done with mRNAs or RMNAs or whatever, it's really pushed cancer treatments forward. So I could be on a new treatment in the summer that really just could put me into remission, which is just mind-blowing. Of course, things could go tits up. I might not make it to that before the cancer decides I've gone all Borg on you and your current treatment's not working, so I'm going to make hay. But the signs are positive. Signs are absolutely positive. So yeah, with the exception of my latest development in gout, 2021 is ending strong, and 2021 is going to start strong, and I'm determined to kick this as hard as I can, and to come back from stage 4 is just a testament to science and not people on Facebook who think, oh, I read something from Owen or from Alex fucking Jones and now I'm an expert. No, these are actual scientists putting stuff together, treatments, tackling diseases, and that's why I have this inherent trust in them, and everybody else should too. So yeah, that's been my year. I hope yours has been better. I know some of you have had some serious ups and downs. I got to see some people. I got to see Raypad a couple of months ago. That was wonderful to see when he came out to LA. I got to see a bunch of friends when the Game Awards was happening before we locked down, which was amazing. Yeah, as Raypad TV, fuck Joe Rogan. Let's talk about Christmas traditions and get your Christmas traditions typed up into the box. Let's have a look. Dan, nice of you to join us. I'm sorry it's late in the day, but we'll be winding down. But you can catch up with this on the YouTube or the Twitch channel, or even on the Twitter, if and you can rewind it and watch. So give me your Christmas traditions. I'm going to go through some of ours. Because Christmas is, everybody says, Christmas is my favorite time of year. And for me, it really is. I mean, I have the season from October the 1st through to January the 1st is the best time for me. I have seasonal depression syndrome, but I have it in reverse in that the summer months just depress the shit out of me. After living in LA for 21 years, too much sun. That's why I'm happy as a pig in shit that it's been pissing down nonstop for a week. We had a wet Christmas day, and at one point I just went out and stood in the backyard. I was like, "Yeah, boy." So the Christmas traditions we have, we always get the decorations up before my birthday. So that's the weekend immediately after Thanksgiving, and we have 2 trees. One of them being a beautiful tree that my wife decorates for the front room, and then I have my tree, which is the nerd tree, which has evolved from basically this small Charlie Brown looking black tree that we got in the UK over a decade ago and brought back, and that eventually died. It was a black tinsel tree, but we started hanging Doctor Who stuff on it, and it's now evolved into a full 6-foot tree that has Star Wars, Doctor Who. This year we got the Star Wars, the Death Star tree topper, which is the pièce de résistance, if you will. It's the best tree topper ever. I have about 6 TARDISes on there, sonic screwdrivers, various Doctors, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Rocket and Groot, South Park, The Simpsons. I mean, it's basically everything that I've enjoyed throughout my life. And every year we put something on it that's a little new and cool. So that's another one of our traditions. We do go and see the Christmas tree at the Grove in West LA, in the Fairfax district, which is where we used to live when we first met and moved. Where I first met Shauna, she lived there, and then we moved in together. We go to a place at Langham Hotel down in Pasadena, which is a beautiful old hotel. They have a marvelous Christmas tree, and we take a picture there. We have our films that we watch every Christmas Eve the night before is now one of our staples. We watch Love Actually. We watch Elf. We watch Die Hard. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Christmas Carol. I've got to watch that before Christmas. Or Scrooge is my favorite version. From 1970. It was actually released the year I was born, the month I was born, in fact, with Albert Finney. And then we follow that up with Scrooged, because you got to have Bill Murray. And then I get on BritBox and I watch some of my British TV shows because America still doesn't do the TV Christmas specials. They'll have a Christmas episode of something of some sort, but they generally chunter it out in mid-November before Thanksgiving, before they all go to sleep for the entire month of December. But in Britain, and my Brits will testify to this, they will testify. The TV shows have the Christmas specials. The Christmas specials hit Christmas week, Christmas Day. I mean, for the longest time, Doctor Who had a Christmas special until Chris fucking Chibnall took over and moved it to New Year's Day because he's too lazy to do a Christmas special. But thankfully, he's gone. So next year, Russell T is back in the house. So hopefully we'll have a Christmas special. And it's just catching up on the Christmas specials. I mean, there's some like from when I was younger, like Only Fools and Horses Christmas special, the legendary 3 episodes, Gavin and Stacey Christmas specials, and just catching up on those, and I love those, and it just makes me feel closer to my family because obviously it's been a long time since I've been home with my family at Christmas. I've done the earlier Christmas with them, but if we've gone over in the summer or in February as we did in 2020. So yeah, that's just. And yesterday was Turkey Curry Day. Got all the turkey stripped, got all the leftovers, put them in a big pot with ginger, garlic, mushrooms, onions, lots of curry powder. I made a big vat of Christmas curry, and then I took the fatty skin off the turkey and I put it in the air fryer for 20 minutes and made Christmas crackling, which is basically pork rinds but with turkey skin. So good. So I am going to. Oh, look at this! I see there's a few of these bots that are coming in, and I'm just gonna have to block them. All right, let's have a look at your Christmas traditions. Hello, Dan. Hello, Steve Nomo. Thank you. Let's see. Sundancer, Christmas tradition, don't have any. 24th is my day with my little family and the rest can all go flock off. Obviously Christmas books as well. That's the other thing we do Christmas Eve. We borrowed that tradition. And this year I got the Dave Grohl book, which is his biography. Book-wise, I actually made out well this year. I got the Dave Grohl book. I got the Talking Sopranos book. Woke Up This Morning, which is an oral history of the Sopranos. And I got Kevin Smith's Secret Stash, which is a big visual history book of Kevin Smith, his life and his work. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. Didn't really enjoy the last reboot of Jay and Silent Bob, but again, somebody who was born 3 months before me had the same heart attacks as me around the same time as me, actually. So yeah, I feel a kinship with the man. Anyway, RP Genius, Christmas Eve tradition is about 80% of my school year meet at the same pub for a piss up and a catch up. That hasn't happened for the last few years with COVID, but many that preceded have been really good there. Oh, look at that. There you go. I forgot I could do this. I'm still getting used to StreamYard. Sorry, I switched it up, obviously, about a month ago. So, yes, I am with the RPG in that I used to do this when I went back to the UK over Christmas, meet up with my friends, and I hope to do that again some point before we all die. Annie, sub-level 29, December 23rd, watch Dinner for One. Okay. Nice big breakfast. Can't fault that. The 2 Prezi openings. Can't argue with 2 Prezi openings. We actually just took our time this year. We had our appetizers, which I make a prawn cocktail. We had that at about 2, dinner about 4, and dessert about 8. Let's see. Let's see. Mike Zero, you almost caught me live. I'm here. Steve Morris, nice to see you. I have never watched Dinner for One. I'll have to look that up. That's pretty awesome, Matthew Thomas. A tree flocked blue to match your home's ocean theme. So I'm guessing you live by the beach. Dinner for One. Okay, I'm gonna go watch that. I'm gonna have to find that Dinner for One and watch it. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm starting to, we're hitting the hour mark and I'm starting to wind down. I just want to say thank you. This year, as I said earlier, has been an up and down year. You guys got me through COVID lockdown, being able to interact with you. It was fun. It's been amazing. We've all had up and down years. I've had people I know pass of COVID, people who've caught COVID and recovered, people who haven't. January, I lost my favorite uncle, not to COVID. He had a heart attack after a double bypass in 2020. And I miss him every day. He was like a surrogate dad for me for a long time. So we've all lost amazing people, but there are amazing people still here. It's been the divisiveness with regards to anti-vaxxing and not believing science and believing quackery and believing Facebook-driven personalities and Twitter bullshit is not good. And I'm calling that out on both sides. We've had stupid shit from the right. We've had stupid shit from the left. The right wins on the stupid shit war, but the left has pulled some stuff out as well. We've had, Kotaku's still been Kotaku. That's something to never change. But at the end of the day, I'm here. You're all here. That's good. 2022 is going to be another tough one, but hopefully it's going to be better. We're going to get better. We're going to see Omicron probably become the equivalent of the cold as more people get vaccinated. We're going to have breakouts. It's here to stay, but it's going to become hopefully an endemic, not a pandemic. And we're going to all start moving around again, and we'll need less masks. And those who get it, who refuse to vaccinate, unfortunately, they're going to strain the system until they either get vaccinated or they submit to Darwinism and die, which is not a good thing to think about, but sometimes it's for the best. But we got some. I've got to be positive about 2022. Got to be. We're going to have a good year. It's going to be better. There's some great TV, great movies, great games. We're going to be here. I'm going to be streaming as often as treatment allows, especially in January. I don't know how. Honestly, I don't know how I'm going to feel. I could be fine. I mean, I could go back from first radiation and go, "Oh, that's fun," or I could come back and all my pubes drop off, and I'm like, "Oh, that's not so fun." I've heard varying stories because of obviously where they're targeting. They're targeting the lower spine first of all, my coccyx, if you will, and then they're targeting the prostate for a month. So that's going to be interesting, and I won't be showing that, taking a video of that. But again, none of this. Oh, hang on. What? What? Now I'm going to have to pay for PS Plus. Fuck. Thank you, Backbeat. Well done. That's amazing. I know some people have. I've had some people genuinely query why I'm trying to be so positive and cheerful, and why am I sharing everything about this? I'm sharing it because I want everybody to get tested for. You are my audience, and you are around my age. And if you may be a little bit younger, but once you hit 40, you should be checked for prostate cancer. They don't check it, and it kills more men than any other cancer. So get checked for it. Get your PSA done. Get your prostate exam done. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If your doctor won't give you a PSA, find a fucking doctor who will. Tell your doctor, you're irresponsible. I'm reporting you. I'm going to get another doctor and go find another healthcare provider, because that person is not serving your needs. This should have been caught, and I wouldn't have been stage 4 at least a year ago when I was in, after I'd come out of hospital and I'd had the bypass, but it wasn't. Anyway, I just want to say thank you. You keep me sane. You keep me amused. I consider you friends, really good friends. I'll be back next week. Maybe even I'll try and stream on Sunday after New Year's Day. Or I might stream on New Year's Day. Who knows? And we'll just shoot some shit. I'm actually going to be starting a course of CBD oil in the new year to alleviate some of the issues as well from radiation. So yes, thank you, Matthew Thomas. Be good to yourselves. Enjoy the next couple of days. Have a safe new year. Stay masked. Try not to go out and catch COVID. I know it sucks, but we can beat this. Happy New Year, 2022. Let's hope it's a good one, as John Lennon once wrote. That's the other Christmas tradition. I start listening to Christmas music in November. Drives the wife fucking nuts. But again, I'm from Britain. We don't have Thanksgiving, and so we start the Christmas build-up in November. And so I'm very Christmassy. So yes, you will see me in the new year, and hopefully for a few New Years after that. And if we can't all go out and celebrate on New Year's and have our friends over, maybe we can have our own rocking friends Christmas, New Year's celebration over the weekend. Be good. Thank you so much. Be good. Take care of yourselves. I will catch up with you in 2022. Have a good one. Don't drink too much. RPG, I'm talking to you. All right. Peace.